طيب.
OS Columbia, Missouri. If a sister is an illegitimate child and her biological father was a part of her life at some point, does he take the role of the wali, or does the wali need to be someone else?
طيب. I'll take that after initials RM from Jamaica, New York. اتفضل.
What is the ruling on burying a non-Muslim in potter's field? Because, for example, like funerals are very expensive. So if a family member dies and you decide not to spend that excessive amount of money on the body, knowing that if that's the case, Allah forbid, that the family member dies upon kufr, their situation is already written with Allah. So what is the rule of spending that astronomical amount and burying them, knowing what their next situation is going to be ultimate, rather than just letting them being buried in potter's field where it's free?
So the question is regarding, can you bury a non-Muslim in a Muslim burial ground if it's
No.
cheaper?
No, at potter's field. Like potter's field is like where the city or the state buries the people that
Don't have enough money to do it.
correct. Right?
Okay.
Or they were unclaimed, for lack of a better word.
Clear. They just dispose of them.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Jane Doe's. Okay. All right.
Right.
Can you do that?
Yes. So
Clear. Crystal clear. Question is regarding burying or allowing your family member to be buried in a place which isn't the best place. It's a generic burial ground, basically,
Yes.
where the city disposes of people who aren't claimed for. John Doe, Jane Doe, no one claimed, no family member, unfortunately.
There's no ceremony either.
Clear, crystal clear. It's just totally like no frills.
Yes.
There's no logo on the box.
Yes.
Crystal, no frills burial. Can a Muslim allow their non-Muslim relative to be buried therein if they're not dying upon Islam? And what's the point of spending the extra money? It's a lot of money. The money could be used in other necessary things, debts, responsibilities, etc. It depends on the condition of the burial. If it's basic, simple, it's not necessarily haram, even if you had the money. As far as if those bodies are disrespected, and it's a means which is beneath the basic standard of humanity, then no. Unless it's absolute necessity. Unless it's what? Absolute. It's like food. There's certain no-frills products which don't taste too bad. And some no-frills or no-name product, generic, may taste better than the what? The brand name, or as good. And then there are other products in which it's what? Nah, I can't eat this. I can't wear these shoes. So if it's something in which it's beyond the basic standard of humane treatment of someone who's dead, then it cannot be done. Unless it's an absolute necessity, I have no money. As far as if it's of a basic, simple, generic standard, and you do have the money, it's permissible. It's permissible to do that. It's permissible what? To do that. And Allah knows best. The question from online says,
Read again.
please do.
This is OS Columbia, Missouri. If a sister is an illegitimate child and her biological father was a part of her life at some point, does he take the role of the wali, or does the wali need to be someone else?
Question says, if there's a sister born from an illegitimate marriage or illegitimate relationship, but the illegitimate father was at one point in time a part of her life, can he be the wali, or does she need a different wali? To clarify a few things, just because someone is a legitimate father does not mean that they have no connection or relationship to the child whatsoever. All right? And the reality that this person is a reason and a means behind you coming into existence is not to be denied and rejected. It's not to be what? Denied and rejected. And many people, they make a mistake and they mix and they jumble things up. And obviously that leads to people being lax when it comes to zina and taking care of their children and the family structure falling apart. Everyone understand this? As we've explained before, what's meant by that hadith, al-waladu lil-firash, the child belongs to the bed, what's meant by that hadith, etc. So therefore, if this is her actual father, but it wasn't through marriage, and he's a Muslim, and he's righteous, and he's pious, and he made tawbah, he's a good Muslim, and he's suitable to be the wali, would it make sense for her to go to the masjid and get a stranger or a foreigner and she has her actual father who can be a wali. If she has no other Muslim family member, what's the difference between a stranger or this man who isn't her biological, her legitimate father in Islam? Hypothetically speaking, they're basically all what? The same, hypothetically speaking. So why not have it be your father? Even if it came from what? Zina. Let alone the fact that a person may say that this person who was the father of zina, it doesn't mean that he has no value and no worth and he's totally unequal, or he's totally, he's the same as the other brothers in the masjid. It doesn't mean that. But for argument's sake. For what? For argument's sake. So therefore, bid'nillahi ta'ala, if she has no other Muslim family members, and she's going to get a foreign wali, a strange wali, then why not make it the man who's her actual father? As long as he fulfills and suits the conditions of what? Of a suitable wali. Of a what? A suitable wali. There could be someone who's your father, biological and legitimate, who isn't a what? Suitable wali. Al-Qawi al-Amin. Strong and trustworthy. Everyone understand this? Last but not least, the ulama of Islam, they don't necessarily agree on the order of walis. Should it be the father? If a woman has a son, grandma? It's a very long discussion. And there, in my limited knowledge, and Allah knows best, my limited knowledge, I have not come across crystal clear, strong, clear-cut proof and evidence stating who is and who isn't to be the wali. But when you read the kalam of the ulama and the different madhabs, it's oftentimes based off of the rules of inheritance. The rules of what? Inheritance. Who inherits from a woman? How much do they inherit from that what? From that woman. And sometimes the conversion is accurate and sometimes it's what? You understand this? Or it could just be issues of ijtihad. And which Abu Hanifa says the son, and Malik, Shafi'i say the father, says the grandfather. Why could that? You understand this? So there are details regarding that issue. And Allah knows best. Question number 3. Adam.
How does someone have a class while doing, as you said, talking about janazah and stuff, as a worker? How does someone only have a class, or how does someone also have a class?
Tayyib. Question says, how does a person have ikhlas? Being someone who's an employee or an employer, someone who's a professional janazah worker. How do you make sure that you're doing it sincerely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? It's a yes and no answer, double-edged sword. From one aspect, you're not doing it for Allah. You're doing it because it's your job. You're doing it because of your what? It's your job. From one aspect. From what? From one aspect. You're getting paid to do it. But from the other aspect, what you get paid to do is compensation. And it's never ever paying you for the true service that you're providing. Let alone the fact that you go above and beyond the requested job description. Working for the janazah, or you should. Like being a student of knowledge. What did the brother, he say? Taking money for classes. Or being a paid imam is not from the sunnah. And it's a reason behind a person not being Salafi. You're not Salafi if you do that. Tell you. That's fine if that's your opinion. But someone who's paid to do a class, or he's compensated, there's no money that you can give a person for teaching you about Allah and His Messenger. There's no money that you can put in someone's pocket for giving you the reminder of death and teaching you fiqh and giving you the Quran and hadith and ilm. There is no equivalent. You can give $1 million and it's not enough for this khutbah that you received. Let alone the fact that the one who's an employee or is under an agreement or a contract or there's an honorarium, in most cases, any scholar or any speaker or any student of knowledge is going to go above and beyond. Do you not ask questions before the talk? Right or wrong? Do you not ask questions what? No, that's on paper. When I'm walking to the car, going to the bathroom. Sheikh, I have a question. Sheikh, I have a question. Sheikh, can I have your email? Can you help me out? Am I getting paid for that? Is there financial compensation for that? So you're always going what? Always. Let alone the fact that the measly little money that you're getting is what? It's a trifle compared to what other people are making. Let alone the hours, the stress, and the list goes on. So any act that you do that's a religious act, and you get compensation for it, that's only a what? A small part of a bigger thing. So you make sure that you understand this, is that it is a job which is a means of compensation. But me doing it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and being involved in khair. And what could be better than being involved in khair and also being compensated? What could be better than that? Instead of just working without no real reward. Just going to work. My work is deen. What could be better than that? You get worldly compensation and what? Hasanat from Fajr all the way to Isha. After Isha. What could be better than that? That's a dream come true. You see what I'm saying to you? So, bidn't ta'ala, just because you take money doesn't mean that you don't have ikhlas. As the ulama of Islam explained with regards to al-jihad fi sabilillah and with regards to the spoils of war. The spoils of war. Now, that would be a major contradiction. Allah and His Messenger, they explained to us about jihad and for the statement of Allah to be the highest and sincerity. Man qatala litakuna kalimatullahi al-ulya fahiya fi sabilillah. And then Allah clearly mentions about the spoils. And Allah has promised you spoils in what? وَمَغَانِمَ كَثِيرًا. An abundance. So there's no contradiction. The one who said be sincere is the one who says that there are going to be what? Spoils. Proving that that's a worldly compensation. And the universal law is that hard work is always supposed to be what? And rewarded. That's the universal principle. Universal what? Universal principle. Let alone if you're not compensated, then you may have to beg. Or steal. Or do haram acts. And relinquish your religion. Let alone the fact if you have a specific talent, a rare talent, a gift from Allah, is not to be wasted at IKEA or Staples or Acme. Your gift of the Quran and reciting the Quran is not to be wasted being a police officer. There's a million people that can be what? Cops. NYPD. What does that stand for? Your Quran voice and your recitation is special. And anybody can be a what? A cop. Don't ever forget that. Anyone can be a police officer. But not everyone can be what? Okay, I have to bust it. Everyone understand this? So no matter what you get of the dunya, it's never ever going to be what? Enough. So you do it for Allah Azza wa Jal under a contract. And if you say that that's haram, then you're hypocritical. As we clearly explained to the brother. And alhamdulillah, the brother, he didn't respond. Even though he said he could have responded, but he didn't respond. They all say that, right, Abdul Qawi? I could have refuted him. I could have come back, but you what? But you did. There is nothing that ain't on what? Wax. If it's not on wax, it don't what? It don't exist. It don't count. It don't count if it's not what? In front of the people. And as we said, name one alim who has a second job. Who? What? You think Bin Baz had a day job? How do you think Bin Baz earned his money? What do you think he did? You think he gave fatwa after fatwa after fatwa, class after class, book after book, and then he wanted to go work in a post office for 8 hours? Sheikh Muqbil, what did he do for a day job? What was his job? What was his profession? So how did he eat? How did he survive? From where? He came back from Saudi. Well, what? Kalam Faldi. Everyone understand this? Kalam what? Faldi. Allah Mustaan. Next question. Siana.
What is the ruling on insulting or complaining about the weather? And what is the ruling for advice on seeking worldly knowledge?
Question from Famagusta, North Cyprus. Complaining or speaking bad about the weather. You shouldn't do it. And there are specific hadiths in which the Prophet ﷺ instructs us what to do concerning weather. Whether it's rain, whether it's the wind, whether it's heat, whether it's clouds. There are many hadiths in which the Prophet gives us instruction concerning the weather and what to do with the what? With the weather. None of those hadiths say curse it or complain about it. Rather, there's a prohibition of doing that. And the weather isn't something that does it by itself. It does it under the command of what? Allah Azza wa Jal. So therefore, it's nothing wrong with saying it's rainy, it's cold. It's labas. Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, he complained. He said, we become exhausted on this trip. لَقَدْ لَقِينَا فِي سَفْرِنَا هَذَا نَصَبًا. There's nothing wrong with that. It's cold outside. He says it's brick. It's freezing. It's hot. That doesn't mean that you're complaining. Just talking normal things. It's hot outside, mashallah. It's really rainy. But now complaining and being down and blue and sad, different story. I hate this wind. Look what the wind did to my car. Look what the snow did to my car. Look what happened. That's a different what? And you'll fall into imitating the wretched, ungrateful faith rejectors who are never pleased with anything that they get. It's too hot, they complain. Too cold, they complain. Too mild, they want to do this, they want to do that. They take off all of their clothes, walk around practically naked, men and women, and then say what? It's hot. So just die.
Nah.
Stay in your house. And they say, I'm what? I'm bored in the house. They're never pleased. They're never grateful. And then they have the audacity to walk up to a Muslim sister. Or, it's happened to me before, wearing a thobe and someone says, hey, are you hot in that? Allah help us all. This is our last question tonight, inshallah.
Initials UK, Durham, North Carolina. Assalamu alaikum, Mufti. My mom wears perfume when going out. She gave me some money to buy her some. The one she sent me for, she usually wears it at home. Is it permissible to do so?
Say the question again.
My mom wears perfume when going out. She gave me some money to buy her some. The one she sent me for, she usually wears it at home. Is it permissible to do so?
And the question comes from where?
Durham, North Carolina.
Durham, North Carolina. My mother wears perfume outside of the house. She gave me some money to buy some perfume that she normally wears inside of the house. Is it permissible for me to do that? Advise your mother and speak to your mother with kindness, with gentleness, and explain to her what you've read or what you've heard. That women should not go outside the house spraying perfume upon themselves. Inshallah ta'ala. Don't do it in an argumentative way. Don't curse your mother. Don't slander your mother. Don't be harsh to your mother. But just show us, pass it on. Pass on the knowledge that you got. Don't say that it's haram. You don't say it. But tell her that I heard it's haram. And I read in a book that it's haram. Or here's a hadith that I read, Ummi. Like that, with respect. And perhaps she'll listen. And if that doesn't work, then someone else can speak to her. And if she doesn't want to listen, then that's not your job, but it's not your what? Responsibility. So if you're buying her perfume, which she doesn't wear outside the house, one aspect is permissible because she's not wearing it outside the house, it's in the house. And if a person is sinful in one aspect, it doesn't mean that they're being neglected and disobeyed in other aspects. Are you understand this? Like the Muslim ruler, the legitimate Muslim ruler. If he tells you to do sin, you don't listen to him. But it doesn't mean that you now disobey him in what? When he tells you to do good. But from another aspect, one may say, what's the chances of her not putting on that perfume to go outside the house? Or maybe she won't get the point unless you take a stance. I can't help you with perfume on me because you're not respecting the ruling of Islam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best. Sallallahu alaihi wa sallam wa barak ala abdihi wa rasulihi nabiyina Muhammad.